One of the things I learned about fantasy when it comes to like girls you like is that the fantasy usually is always better than the reality. You know, it was this girl in high school I had a crush on, and I remember I knew this girl since elementary school, right? And man, bro, we was close friends in elementary school, and a little bit in middle school too. And it's weird, we was friends, but it was one of those friendships where it's like y'all friends, but y'all both know y'all like each other a little bit, but like y'all just playing friends because it's like it's safe to play the friendship kind of role. So fast forward, we hit high school and shit, and it's like weirdly enough, I just developed this weird infatuation with this girl, and it was very unhealthy. And I don't know where it came from. And I understand looking back, it was based on the fact that I wasn't getting a lot of hoes. I wasn't getting a lot of female attention. And I was just looking at situations with certain females that I did get that attention with. And I tied a lot of that with her because she was really like my best friend in elementary school. But we went to the same high school and shit. Mind you, we're grown, we're growing, we're at a different age now. We don't talk like that no more, but we see each other periodically at school. She was in one of my first period classes. So I'm developing this weird infatuation with this girl. Probably, I think I was like sophomore, junior year. So me, my boy, right, my homie, my close homie at the time, man. All I'm talking about is her with him. Like, how I think she's the most beautiful girl on earth. I really like this girl, bro. I think this gonna be my future wife. Like, it was crazy, the obsession that I started to develop with this girl. Mind you, like, we cool if we were to run past each other, but it ain't like it's some like, oh my goodness, like we both feel the same way, bro. This girl's she's changed so much since elementary school and middle school. You know, a lot of times females start acting different in high school. They start to realize that niggas are really trying to fuck them. She realizing she's actually pretty, and she was pretty, a little on the chubby side, but she always had a pretty face though. And I never gave a fuck about that chubby shit. You feel me? I'm thinking, I don't care. She's like beautiful, the most beautiful girl in the world to me. So I'm talking to my homie about her every day, bro. Like, I just gotta find a way to talk to her, man. I gotta find a way to talk to this girl. You feel me? I'm like, bro, I gotta find a way to get around her, man. Like, I gotta let her know how I feel. And I was so simping over this girl, bro. Like, and it's like everything that I'm imagining about this girl, right, up until this point is imaginary. It's fantasy. Like, I'm creating scenarios in my head of how we gonna be together, how it is for the first time we get the whoop wop the bamming, and it's like your mind is so crazy. Your mind can have you creating all these weird situations and scenarios and fantasies that sound and look so perfect in your mind, but in reality, it's like the odds of that happening, it could happen, but it's like it's not gonna happen one, two, three, like perfect. You know what I'm saying? But that's what the fantasy in your mind will do to you, and that's why you gotta be careful. Because a lot of these females and niggas too. I'm not saying just women. I'm saying niggas too. Like, it ain't like what your brain is making it seem like it's gonna be. So I'm just gonna say that. You feel me? So it was a point where, like, fast forward, a lot of other miscellaneous shit was happening where it was like sparks of us like kind of starting to talk a little bit weirdly out of nowhere. But it was a situation where I remember it like it was yesterday. It was me and my homie. We was walking out. It's the end of school. We walking out to the gate. Usually we walk out the gate every day after school. We walk out in the front of school, wait for our rides to come pick us up. And on this particular Friday, it was a Friday, nigga. It was on this particular Friday. And mind you, side note, I was on like semen retention. I was on this little like trying to try different shit. Even in high school, I was on this shit. Like, and I would think I was like 2 weeks in. So I had a lot of testosterone behind me around this time, especially on this day. And I think that's what pushed this situation to even go full forward. So me and my homie walked to the gate, right? Mind you, I'm talking about this girl the other day. I'm like, woo, woo, woo. So boom, we walk into the gate like every other day, but it's a Friday. And we walk into the gate, and it's a few other homies too, miscellaneous homies and shit. We walking with to the gate, right? And as I'm walking to the gate, I look over to my left, And it's like this music room, right? Where they got music class and shit over there. And in front, you can stand in front of there. I mean, it's a high school campus. I mean, you can stand anywhere, but particularly on this day, at all the people I spot standing in front of this music classroom, long and behold, it's the girl that I've been overly fantasizing about. I'm not gonna say her name. I'm gonna call her Jenny. I'm gonna say her name was Jenny, right? So I see Jenny standing right there on her phone. And I look over and I'm like, holy shit. She's standing right there. I look at my homie. He see me, he see her. He like, bruh. Like, you feel me? I'm like, nigga, in this very instance, I had two choices. Either I make a move in terms of going over there to say something to her, or I walk out this gate. And I always look back on this situation because it's almost like it's like how life works. You got road left, you got the right road. You got to make a choice. That day, I could have walked out that gate and I would have never, this whole me walking up to her, it would never have happened. I would have always lived with that what if. You feel me? That's why I always say, man, shoot your shots. If you feel like it's a chance, nigga, shoot your shots. You never know. So that day, I told you I was on semen retention, had all this pent up testosterone in me. I picked my nuts up, nigga, and I chose road A. And road A was walking towards her to tell her how I felt about her. And it's so weird. I didn't have no game plan. I didn't really know what I was really doing. All I knew was she's standing right there by herself. I spotted her. I got either choice A or choice B. I chose choice A. I'm gonna walk up to her and I'm gonna let her how I feel, and hopefully she feel the same way. And it's just happily ever after. We date now, and I don't know what I was thinking was gonna happen, but so I ended up walking over there to the girl. Mind you, she knows me from elementary, middle school, so we got a mildly lukewarm rapport. Like, we know each other, but we don't really socialize or talk like that. So her seeing me walk up to her is a little like, oh shit, I ain't really seen this nigga in a while type vibes. So I walk up to her, right? Mind you, all the homies is looking at me talk to her. Cause my boy, I ain't gonna say his name. My boy knows the situation when it come to her. So he knows what's up. He knows what I'm trying to do and what I'm trying to accomplish. The other homie is just looking like, what the fuck going on? What's he doing over there? Like, who's that? So they watching pretty much kind of this all play out. So I walk up to Jenny, right? We're gonna call her Jenny. I walk up to Jenny, right? And I'm nervous. And I'm like, oh my God, this is about to happen right now. Oh, my heart beating through my damn chest. And mind you, remember how I said how your brain and your fantasy world in your mind can have you thinking something is so perfect when in reality it's not even really like that for real? When I walked up to Jenny, and I'm not going to say she wasn't attractive. I'm not going to sit up here and say I didn't find her attractive. But when I walked up to her, the first thing I noticed about this girl that I had in my head of being the most beautiful girl on God's green earth that I thought I was going to be with, get married with, have kids with, the whole shebang. When I walked up to this girl, bro, I ain't gonna lie to you, bro. She was not what my fantasy was showing. Like, when I first walked up to her, bro, she wasn't that attractive like how I thought she was. When I walked up to her, I'm looking at her, and my presence by itself, we like, hey, what's going on, whoop, whoop. But as she's starting to kind of talk a little bit, like, I'm noticing like her teeth is a little yellow. She got a slight like black rings under her eyes a little bit. Like, obviously, like, she smoked weed. So I kind of found that out a little later. But she smoked weed. So just in that moment of approaching her, right, I'm noticing this instantly, like, she's not ugly though. She's still pretty, but it's like she's not what I thought she was going to be like in person, face to face. Maybe I wasn't either face to face. I can't see me from her perspective, obviously. So I walk up to her, right, heart beating through my chest. I'm like talking to her, very brief. And I don't remember exactly word for word what I said. But I pretty much in so many words was like, you know what, I like you, and I just wanted to let you know how I feel about you. And yeah. So in so many words, I'm pretty much telling her something in the midst of that. You know what I'm saying? I like you and whatever. And oh my God, to this day, me and my boy still laugh about this shit because the words, the things that came out of her mouth after this, after what I just said, always stuck with me for the rest of my life. This girl, and I'm gonna let y'all tell me in the comment section if this something that if a female says this, is this her being mean or her just maybe that statement didn't mean anything. But this girl had the audacity to tell me after everything I just said, I just spilt my whole heart out to this girl. This girl told me, sorry to burst your bubble. This girl told me, sorry to burst your bubble, but I have a boyfriend. Now, okay, you got a boyfriend? That's cool. You seeing somebody? That's cool. But why the extra sauce on it though? Like, what's the whole sorry to burst your bubble? Like, what the, you know what I'm saying? Like, all that extra shit, you could have said, hey, I got a boyfriend. So, that would have been cool, all right, for sure. Would have still been hurt. Would have still walked away with my head a little bit kind of down. But all this, sorry to burst your bubble, like a nigga worshiping you on some shit. I don't know. Just how she said it in that moment and looking back, like, bitch, like, who the itch? Who is you? Itch? Like, you know what I'm saying? But she said, sorry to burst your bubble, but I have a boyfriend. It's something in the term, something like that. I remember, like, in my mind, I'm like, damn. So I forgot really kind of what happened after that statement she said. So she ended up walking away. I ended up walking back to my homie, and I'm like, he's like, what happened? What happened? And I'm like, bro, she got a boyfriend, and, you know, dude. And like, man, I ain't gonna lie, bro. I was so sad, bro. Like, and you know, my childhood homie was there, right? Seeing this whole shit transpire, and you know, that's my boy, you know. I still got love for my homie, man. You feel me? But in that moment, bro, he wasn't really being the best homie. You feel me? Low key, bro was kind of clowning me. My other homie, though, the one that I'm telling all this shit to about the girl, he's consoling me on some shit. Like, bro, it's good, bro. Like, forget her, bro. Like, the other homie, low key clowning me, like, she said she don't fuck with you. She, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, and me and him, we got a playful friendship, though. But right in this moment, I'm like, you know, like, nigga, shut up. Nigga, like, you know, I'm really hurt, nigga. I'm on the verge of crying, gang. You know what I'm saying? So, you know what I'm saying? When we walk out the gate, you know, I'm just distraught. You know, my homie that, you know, that knows what's going on, he kind of like, you know, talking me through it, like, yo, bro, forget her, bro. So we starting to walk to this pizza spot near the school, right? After school. So, you know, it's Friday, and, you know, I'm just kind of like effed up, man, because it's like, I got to go through the weekend with this kind of shit on my mind and my heart. So, you know, we walking to Evelyn's, me and my homie, you know, and remember, man, and to this day, like, I don't care what we've kind of, our ups and downs in our friendship up until this day, but I'll always respect him for that, because we walked to that pizza spot and he just sat there and let me pour my heart out to him about how I was feeling and how that kind of was like messing me up. And he just sat there and listened to me. He sat there and just listened to me, man. And I'll always respect that. You feel me? Because a lot of homies probably don't give a fuck about hearing about no side story about you liking some girl, you know? But, man, that day was so hard and tough, man. But, you know, like I said, I got over that shit, though. You know, I looked at that like a learning lesson. One thing I did learn from that and gain from that is I lost the fear of rejection a little bit. Like, I lost that fear of rejection because I really liked this girl, man. You feel me? And it's like funny, like years later, I saw her like at Walmart, and, you know, she didn't even know who the fuck I was, man. You feel me? And that even hurt more, bruh. Like, I walked past this